Part 8. Wow. And I'm still talking. All right. We're in part 8. I'm doing a homeschool workshop with some friends of mine. We're learning how to lap book together. If you want to see the reasons we're doing this, you'll have to go back to number 1 so I can explain all that. All right. We're going to take, this is called a vocabulary book. It's very simple, but it's probably one of those that I use the most, okay, because it is simple and it's very quick. And I noticed one of my kids go to this before any other because he knew it was simple and he could do it really quick. Fun story. Sent my oldest to high school for just a couple of years because he decided he wanted to play football. He was at a place educationally where I felt like he could do that, and he had some good friends already at the public school that he was going to. It was a very small school. So we let him go for a year. And he went, and he came home just a few days later and plopped himself down on the couch and said, "You are not going to believe this." I said, "What?" He said, "Look at my science for the day." And he pulled out his science project, and it looked exactly like one of the books I had showed him how to make when he was 7. And here he was, a freshman in high school. So, that's funny. It was a vocabulary book. This is what it was. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead and hot dog fold one of these pages, and then we're going to cut down that mountain. We're only going to use half of this page because I don't want to take up that much room. Okay? And you can make this book really big or really small. We're going to make it rather small just for the sake of having space, but I want you to see the potential, so I'm going to show you something real quick. This is also kind of like that layer look book that we built earlier. You can build it big like this, and then the project is much larger. And you can build it just the same kind of way and then cut up these sections. For example, if you were doing fractions and you wanted to do fractions this way, you could. So like here are, thirds. And here's, and then the next layer would be whole, whole and half and thirds and fourths and whatever. So you can do that. So this is a big picture of the vocabulary book, okay? These are bigger pieces. You can use them this way if you want to, all right? Remember, whatever you're teaching, if there are pieces to it, count those pieces, and remember that's how many folds or cuts you want. All right. So let's go ahead and cut. Let's go ahead and cut the mountain off. We're going to use just 1/2 of this to make our vocabulary book. One of the nice things about using the folds to cut instead of having to always use a ruler and whatnot is that very young children can cut things evenly, and that's encouraging for them. So I do like that. All right, we're going to hamburger fold this and crease it. Sorry, hot dog fold. Don't listen to me. Hot dog fold this and crease it. Okay. And like I said, this is a small version of what I normally did. What I normally did looked like... show a picture of one. What I normally did, there we go, looked like this. Okay, there's the vocabulary books, and they look like this. They'd write the word on the flap, then you open the flap, and the definition would be underneath. Okay, but we're going to make a small one just for the sake of having room to put it in our project holder. Okay. So what you do is however many vocabulary words you've got, that's how many flaps you make. So you would put your notebook paper or writing paper, paste it inside here, and you will make a flap for every word that you have. And like I said, obviously this is a small version. But what I would do with younger ones is I'd put a number on the outside and then spell the number on the inside. Okay, so we have 1, and on the inside we'd write O-N-E. And we have 2, we'd write TWO. All right, so let's say we make the, and if you want to make sure this is even, you can do all the folding if you want to make those creases. Approximate. You can cut it in half again, and cut it in half again. And you'll get at least 8 flaps, okay? Is that what you did? You're whispering. I'm going to put you on camera if you're not careful. All right. So, all right, just see what we did? Okay, this is where, hold it the right direction. Maybe I'd write 1 here. I'd spell the word 1 inside. I'd write a number 2 here, spell the number 2 inside. Or if I'm doing vocabulary and I'm using a whole sheet of paper, you'd make the word on the outside and do the definitions of that vocabulary word on the inside. Okay, this would hold 8. This is called a vocabulary book. Okay, so we're going to paste that in our book, in our project. Quickly, I'm saying quickly. See, I was doing pretty good until somebody told me what time it was. Now I'm all worried. I can't keep these girls out too late. They've got school tomorrow. So, all right, so that is our vocabulary book. Let's look at, let's see, what else can we do? Oh, let's do a pop-up book. Okay. All right, we'll do a pop-up book. Let's just use one of our scraps from the book that we made a little bit ago. And maybe I said this at the beginning, but I encourage you to keep your scraps, because all those little pieces of paper can be turned into another project or can be used on another project. And I'm a real big believer in making sure we recycle and use everything we can. I don't like to throw scads of scraps out, especially if I can use them. Okay, so we're going to take one of these quarters. You can use that big piece if you want to, if you've got a big piece left over from your one of your projects. We're going to take this. We're going to hamburger fold it. I'm going to hamburger fold mine. You be creative. You can hot dog fold yours if you want to. I don't know how you do that if you've got a bigger piece of paper, but go ahead. All right, I'm hamburger folding this. All right. All right, and then on the fold, see, I hamburger folded. Got to show everybody. Hamburger folded this little piece of paper. And then on that fold, I think we're gonna mark this just because it's real easy to overcut if you're not careful. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this and you're gonna put a mark here and a mark here, just like 2 little eyes, okay? And you want them to be right across from each other, or pretty close, okay? I just put 2 little eyes on there, about 1 inch down from the fold, okay? 2 little eyes. And I'm going to use that as my guide to make sure I don't overcut, okay? Because it'd be real easy for me to cut one side longer than the other, and then it messes up, and then I got to redo it. So now you're going to take the fold, all right, and you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to cut from the fold, from the mountain, to your mark. From the fold, from the mountain, to your mark, okay? And you're going to stop at that mark. Don't go any further. You'll ruin your pop-up book. All right. So now what you have, when you do that, okay, you've made a little cut in your mountaintop. Okay. Now you're going to poke that through backwards. So for example, if the mountain is pointing toward you, you're going to push that piece through like this. Okay? Push that piece through like that. All right? See, it's on the inside of my book. Now, take another little piece of paper. Just cut, I would say, this is just because we want to have something to show us what we're doing. Take a little rectangle or triangle out of another piece and just write pop-up on there, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. Pop-up. All right, now when you open the project you just cut on, all right, you're going to put glue on the part that faces you. So, for example, if I open this up like this, this is the part that's facing me. That's where I'm going to put my glue. And that's where I'm going to paste the word pop-up. Okay? Oh, it fell down. Let's see if I can do it again. Pop-up. All right? Any question about that, guys? I did it kind of quick because I'm trying to move on. So see? I put my sticky tape there. And I put my little piece there that says pop-up. All right? And then when you close it, it hides. See? Isn't that cool? And you can make pop-ups inside of pop-ups inside of pop-ups. So you can actually have a pop-up that has a pop-up in it if you paste it in the right place. So if you paste it, it takes a little work, but it can be done. It's fun. And then, of course, what you'll want to do is when you finish, you want to finish off that book, that pop-up book, with a cover or a border or something that hides that hole. Okay? So, you know, I think what did I do last week? I took just a little strip. Yeah, I just cut a strip and hot dog folded it over the project and pasted it down, and then that way when you opened it. Okay? Pretty cool? All right. I can see this being a really neat way for your kids to make cards and whatnot. Again, certainly can be used for educational purposes, and that's, of course, our goal as we get into this. But just one more project that your kids can learn to do and own their own education and be creative with. Okay? So, pop-up book.